Lauren Brooks, Taylor Dahl, and Tom McManus. This is
Helmets and Heels.
Helmets and Heels on 1010XL.
All right, good afternoon to everybody. It's a beautiful Thursday outside, getting pretty warm out, and I hope this continues. I know all of us will be out at Players Championship. Jamal St. Cyr joining us today and tomorrow. So, Jamal, thanks for hopping on with us.
Hey, appreciate you letting me hang out with you for a little bit.
Of course. Lauren's on enjoying a little bit of a staycation. So, Tommy and I holding things down. Aaron Williams filling in for RJ because RJ's filling in for JJ, who's on a European trip right now. So we got a little bit of it's vacation season, I guess.
A little shuffle.
A little shuffle.
Yeah, great to have you on, man.
Yeah, appreciate you
See you out
having
there
me
at the camp all the time, at every practice. You're a hard-working man in this part of town.
Just bouncing around trying to keep up with everybody.
Yeah, man. Yeah, content's king, right? No matter what forum.
That's the name of the game.
Yeah.
That's the name of the game at this point.
You got to hustle.
We were chatting a little bit off air right before we came on. So you're from Louisiana.
Yep.
You actually went to the same high school as Leonard Fournette.
Yep, went to the same high school as Leonard Fournette. So that was when I told people I was moving to Jacksonville. They're like, "Oh, you're gonna know Leonard Fournette." He left shortly after I got here. I think I was here with him for about a year. So, and then it was off and rolling from there. But yeah, so I've been here since I guess 2019. So a little bit. Time flies.
Yeah,
Time flies.
it does fly. No
So
doubt.
you've seen, you didn't get to see the 2017. You saw the aftermath of all of that, and then this rebuild. So for you, your perspective when you came in at 2019. Obviously, we're talking about James Gladstone and Liam Cohen and all of those changes. But just for you, significantly, what have you seen change since that 2019 season to now?
It's funny to watch how the team has changed and how the fans have changed with it. So I got here in 2019. Everybody's hype about Nick Foles.
Yeah.
Like, I remember that first Chiefs game. I was down on the field shooting the game, and all I'm thinking is, okay, I can't mess this up. And he throws a touchdown pass to DJ Chark. It's right in my lap. I'm like, oh, thank God I didn't miss it. What I missed was that Nick Foles is laid out on the other side of the field, and I'm like, oh, I got the touchdown. We're good. Everybody else is like, oh, who's the quarterback? Yep. So that was like the high. And then, over the course of that season, we saw the Minshew Mania, which was fun, but then kind of the frustrations as things kind of tailored off. But now, as you see it really like peak back up, just the loyalty of Jaguars fans through all of that, but really the hype that that comes when this team is successful, the way the city feels when the team is rolling.
It's special. It really is special for sure. I've only been here in Jacksonville, but as far as playing and living afterwards, there's nothing like Jayville in my opinion. Just the Jags are the epicenter. When we win, everybody's jacked up. When we lose, everyone's upset. You got your diehards, you got your bandwagoners that'll come when you win, and then it's just mania, and it's absolutely fantastic. What I want the audience to know too, Jamal, they see on TV, but what your day-to-day with the Jags, you go to all the press conferences, you're getting interviews with players, you're down there at the stadium for a lot of, or Miller Electric Center for a lot of the day, right?
Oh, yeah. I try my best not to miss anything. Channel 4 has been nice enough to let me kind of shift my schedule around to make sure that we can do some of those things, because that was one of the things that I noticed and I kind of always knew is you don't typically have the TV guys that are there day to day and are at everything. And a lot of them kind of breeze through and show up for 10 minutes and go out the door. And I'm not throwing any shade at anybody. That's just how it typically is done. Yep. So being that this is the Jaguars are the epicenter, like you said, I said, oh, look, this is what's important. I want to be there. I want to go and do this. And this is where I kind of want to be. And so we've been able to kind of changed some things around, shifted, and I've been able to kind of integrate in there. And Jaguars fans have been so accepting of me into what feels like a small, weird family.
It happens.
Well, you get to see the body language, which is great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You get to, when they answer or talk to you, you're like,
exactly.
It's not just hearing a clip or reading it on the internet or whatever.
Yeah.
You're actually there seeing what the reaction or what the temperament is.
And it's different. It's different when you're right there to ask some of the questions and get to know some of these folks. Before they take the podium, after they take the podium, just to those one or two short interactions, it can mean a difference. It can make a difference. It means a lot. And sometimes you get a little background on, okay, this is what you really meant there. You didn't want to say this, but you wanted to say this, And some of the press conferences, some of the clips that have gone viral around where people are like, oh, this is how Liam Cohen was reacting. And I'm like, yeah, that's not his body language. That's not what he was trying to tell you in that moment. We've seen that. Well, that's not a happy look.
Well, and that's so going back, because the end of the season press conference, neither Tommy and I were not there, but Lauren was. And so Lauren came back, and you could, I guess, hear it a little bit. It felt a little bit of sadness, which happens. The season ends the way it does. And probably there was some moments where I'm sure Liam Cohen didn't want to go for it. Wish he looked back and didn't go for it on that fourth down, or, a field goal is made and this game is different. But Lauren came back and was like, it felt like you could really feel, I don't want to use the word defeat, but you could see something in Liam Cohen where he was not just like, oh man, this sucks. It really affected him in a different way, and in the sense of, we are better than this. Did you get those vibes too at that end of the season?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he was definitely still like feeling the pressure of that loss. And that end of season loss is crushing no matter when it comes.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's that realization of it's done. All the work we've done to up until this point, the group will never be the same. Tommy, you know that. I mean, the locker room's never the same from year to year, no matter how much consistency, the veterans, there are guys that won't be back with that team. And that hits coaches hard, because you spend so much time together. I mean, he spends so much time away from his family. With these guys, you become a little bit of a family.
Yeah.
And I think realistically, like, we were talking about it, that, they have a shot. They have a chance to go do. They realistically believed it.
Oh, yeah.
And it wasn't just a like lip service of like, you hear that sometimes, we can go do. No, they really thought that this was the year that the path was there, and weren't expecting it to come crumbling to an end. So he was definitely still wrestling with that kind of weight of.
Well, in the window of opportunity, like they opened it, and then it got really big, and then it was where you're like, man, we really could make it to the Super Bowl, like just from a realistic standpoint, not eye in the sky, just from a reality. Like, we match up well with these teams. When we lost to New England in '96, like, we all felt on defense, we matched up well with Green Bay, with Favre. They were power eye running. Dorsey Evans was a beast. They had a great O-line. They do play action, that kind of stuff. We felt like, no, we match up, and then you just like, you don't get there. So I think that window of opportunity, they're all sitting there going, oh man, this was, we came up out of nowhere. No one saw us coming. We're 13 wins. We're a good football team. We've been through ups, downs, everything, and we're pretty strong going in, and we had chances to win that game, the wild card game, and that will eat at you. And now it's just, Jamal, as you know, like, okay, what's next? I heard what Liam says. Can't be a one-hit wonder.
That's the
next
thing.
year is a big thing, but what's next? We got to sustain it. Is it sustainable from your point of view?
I think it is, and that's the hard thing too, is you don't know how long that window stays open. I mean, you've seen teams knock on it, like Cincinnati a couple years back. They're in the Super Bowl, and they felt like, our window's opening.
You're right.
And they haven't been able to get back to that point. So you never know if that window's cracked or wide open, or if you're going to get another shot. And in that press conference, Liam said, we got to push the boulder back up the mountain again. We got to start from the bottom. We're not starting from the top. And he's right, because nothing carries over. You can maybe build some of the confidence. Like, if Trevor's play can carry over, then I think you're there.
Yeah.
If Trevor plays like he did at the end of last season, then you have an opportunity to win the South again, which puts you back in the postseason, which gets you a chance in the dance.
A chance, and anything can happen.
And anything can happen.
Yeah, because I think we talk so much about the offense in general, and down that stretch, the way they were able to score on virtually anybody. And that's why you look back and you're like, Denver, look what the Jags did to Denver. And that's why the postseason felt so like this is doable for them. And you look at the offense, and it just felt like Parker Washington and his breakout. And when Strange was back, it just felt like everything was clicking in that moment. And then you go back and you're like, you have to push that boulder back up. But then you're also getting Travis Hunter back, and a Caleb Ransaw who you didn't even get to see. And Trayvon Walker had a club on his hand. So there's also all of these other things that, like, what if these people stay healthy and they're on the field? That boulder doesn't maybe seem so difficult to push back up as it was. But I do like that he was like, it's not going to like be an easy project. There's some work to do.
Yeah. Look, a lot of work to do on the roster. I mean, you get some of those guys that'll back healthy. You hope Travis Hunter comes back and maybe even takes a jump from where he was at. You hope that you get Caleb Ransaw and can see what he can do out there on the field if he's the difference maker on defense that they want him to be. But you might be doing it without a guy like Devin Lloyd, who made a bunch of plays for you last season. You might be doing it without Travis Etienne, who had a couple of 3-touchdown games for you. So he accounted for a lot of points. And even if you have confidence in a guy like Bashal Tutin to carry the load, that's still an if. Like, does he stay healthy? Does he have a mistake somewhere along the way and a costly fumble in a big moment? You just don't know, because he hasn't had to do it yet.
What's your gut tell you about Etienne and Devin? What do you think?
I think Devin's gone. I think Devin played his way out of Jacksonville. The price tag's going to be too high. And you know what? Honestly, good for Devin.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Great
Yeah.
for Devin.
Yeah.
But if I was in James Gladstone's position, I'd make the same decision. Like, honestly, Devin's play in his career has been too up and down for me to comfortably say I would be willing to give him a huge mega contract.
Okay.
Like, you've seen the highs. I always go back to his rookie season. At the beginning of his rookie year, he's the AFC Rookie of the Month.
Mhm.
Yep.
And then he's benched like a couple of games later as a first-round pick, which is tough to do because
Yeah.
they want that guy to have
That's
every
Sure.
opportunity.
That's your guy.
That's your
Yeah.
guy
Yeah.
that you traded back into the first
Yeah.
round to get, and you're like, no, let's take
Yeah.
this back a
That's
second.
saying you're wrong. That's putting your hand up and being
Yeah.
like, we did this wrong.
So I think good for Devin. I
Mhm.
think he's going to find a home somewhere and be very heavily paid for it, but I just think it's tough. In a tough spot, and I think the Jaguars will just find another linebacker
Yeah,
to plug there.
do you have anybody on the roster that replaces him right now?
I don't think so. I
Yeah, I don't either.
think the replacement's outside.
Okay.
They'll
Yeah.
give
Gotta find
Ventrell a crack, maybe.
Yeah.
But he'd have to go out and win
He's
it.
built differently.
Yeah.
They're a different player in my
Very
mind.
different
Yeah,
player.
Yeah.
Let's actually continue that conversation a little bit because I do want to talk about Buster, Etienne, and Lloyd and some possible
Yeah.
replacements where you see that. But we are going to continue. We're taking a little look around the AFC South this week too to just see right before we're getting to that legal tampering and free agency thoughts and feelings of these other teams. And today we're going to talk to Rhett Ryan, executive producer for Titans Radio. So we'll be talking some Tennessee Titans coming up next. That's on the other side on Helmets and Heels, 1010XL 92.5 FM.
From the opening tee shot to the final putt on 18, track your favorite golfers in
Honesty.
You can chime in anytime on the 1010XL text line.
Installed by Lifetime Flooring.
If you have something to say to me, I wish you would just say it.
Share your opinion.
Nuts? What?
641-1010.
It's crazy.
Firehouse Subs is adding a new heavy hitter to the roster, the Chicken and Cheddar Rancher. Grilled chicken, melted cheddar, crispy bacon stacked high with fresh toppings and creamy buttermilk ranch. The Chicken and Cheddar Rancher, only at Firehouse Subs.
At Hollis Pools, building a pool is personal. We sit down with you, listen to your vision, and bring your backyard dreams to life right here in Northeast Florida. Working with us doesn't feel like working with a contractor. It feels like working with family. Every Hollis Pools project supports Project Savior Outdoors, helping bring hope to our veterans. Visit hollispools.com. Hollis Pools, your vision, your pool, your escape. License number CPC 1461233.
The Players' Championship returns to TPC Sawgrass March 10th through 15th. Experience golf's most iconic stage with enhanced food and beverage offerings, interactive fan attractions, and an atmosphere built for every type of fan. See the best players in the world, including world #1 Scotty Scheffler, 2025 champion Rory McIlroy, and fan favorite Brooks Koepka take on the legendary Stadium Course and the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
Hi, I'm Donovan Darius, 10-year NFL strong safety for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm hosting my celebratory 150 and 151st Football Life Camp this spring break for kids ages 6 through 13. The dates for these camps are March 16th and 18th at 5:30 to 8 p.m. These kids will learn speed, agility, football competition, life skills, and much more. If you'd like to sign your kids up or you'd like to support or volunteer, go to DariusNextLevelTraining.com.
When you buy online, you really cannot tell because you're not looking at the stone. So it's impossible to buy a stone online that you could really see everything about it. You have to buy a diamond in person.
That's John Lupo at Beards Diamonds, who says one big mistake is trying to buy a diamond online. Because each diamond is unique, you need to examine it for yourself.
Otherwise, you can get fooled, you can get tricked, and that's not a good thing when you're spending thousands of dollars.
At Beards, John's son Ben says they give each customer the ability to compare multiple diamonds in their price range, not just on paper, but up close inside and outside.
Go outside in the natural daylight. That's the best test to be able to see the exact color in the stone, see the brilliance in the stone, and the fire and the scintillation, which is very, very important.
People want to know what they're spending this money on, and they also want to be protected.
That's why Beards takes it a step farther with a money-back guarantee and a trade-up policy that guarantees you will always get what you paid when you upgrade. Buy with confidence at locally owned Beards Diamonds in St. John's Town Center.
This is Victor Patel, CEO of North Florida Medical Center. Have you been in an auto accident? Are you feeling pain or stiffness? Our board-certified team has over 15 years' experience helping patients recover through chiropractic care, physical therapy, pain management, primary care, and neurology. Even minor injuries can cause long-term problems if left untreated. Schedule your free consultation today at nfmcjax.com. North Florida Medical Center, bringing the care back to healthcare.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Here's another call on the 1010XL hotline, driven by Key Buick GMC, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
All right, welcome back to Helmets and Heels. Tom McManus here, Taylor Dahl here, Jamal St. Cyr joining us today. And now we are going to pivot over and talk some Tennessee Titans with Rhett Ryan, executive producer over there. So, Rhett, thanks for hopping on and chatting a little AFC South with us.
Glad to do it, and hope all is well in Jacksonville.
We are doing great. It's a nice, almost 80 degrees here today, so it's warming up. Our winter is over. But, Rhett, let's start with one of the bigger pieces of information that's coming out of Tennessee this offseason, and that's trading T'Vondre Sweat to the Jets for Jermaine Johnson. So just chat a little bit about that. I think the surrounding narrative is that the fit and the scheme just makes sense for what Tennessee needs moving forward defensively. So just start there for us.
Yeah, and that is exactly the sentiment here. The other part of it is, when you get into different regimes, and Jacksonville's been through this, Tennessee's been going through it with head coach, GM, those kinds of things. When you're not somebody else's guy, when you're, not the guy that is the current general manager's guy, sometimes things are a little different for you. And with Rand Carthon being let go a little over a year ago, that changed the landscape for T'Vondre with some advocacy and things of that nature. But yeah, fit-wise, he was, that's the thing about, I'm trying to answer this the correct way without letting too much out of the bag here. But Mike Borgazzi,
you can tell us everything. It's fine.
Nobody's listening. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. It's just between us three, right? Mike Borgazzi is moving the players and the pieces that are not a fit, whether it's schematically, culturally, whatever. He made a trade, ironically, to the Jets several months ago with cornerback Jarvis Brownlee that the Titans had previously drafted. So he has some relationship there. And then the bigger thing in this is that they needed pass rush help. And getting Jermaine Johnson in a player-for-player swap, which you don't see as much of anymore, is more of what they're looking for. And Robert Saleh runs an even 4-3 man front. The ends are what's important, and Jermaine Johnson kind of fits the bill. And obviously, that's his former head coach when Saleh was the head coach there. And big long guy, and can get around the corner and rush the passer. The main thing is Jeffrey Simmons is still the centerpiece of all this.
Oh yeah, yep.
And Jeffrey needs help, and because he can't do it by himself. Although I'm convinced he could do it by himself. And I think that's also the part of this is just getting the pressure. Because guys and gals, here's the thing: the secret in the AFC arms race, if you will, with the quarterbacks of Allen and Jackson and Mahomes and the like, if you can rush forward with your defense and let your other guys do the difference, do the due diligence, that's the key to success. And you've seen that just recently in the past two Super Bowls, how they were won. That's the key to this thing, is trying to keep that front, to collapse the pocket and let your other guys work.
Well, Simmons and Johnson together will form a nice tandem on one side of that defense. Right, great to have you on the show. You mentioned quarterback play. What's Brian Daboll going to do for your young quarterback in Cam Ward?
Well, here's the interesting thing. First of all, Brian Daboll really liked Cam Ward in the draft process last year. Okay. And it is more than just reported that they had tried to make a trade up to one to go get him. That's how much he liked him. The thing about Daboll is his offense is not off of the very common Mike Shanahan, Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan tree. And I think that's a good thing because it presents different challenges defensively for opponents week to week. But Daboll, first of all, when we're talking about Cam Ward is a guy that he is – you've heard the term, the guy's a film rat or he's a gym rat. Well, he's a facility rat. Like, he does not leave. He's not first in, last to leave. Like, they have to shove him out the door to get him home because he wants so badly to win and to be a part of this and to improve. And the kind of coaching he needs is alpha coaching. Well, now you're talking Robert Saleh. Now you're talking Brian Dable. And they will challenge him and charge him with getting the absolute best out of the young man. And, of course, now it's Mike Borgonzi's turn to help in all that in fortifying the offensive line so that he's not sacked 55 or 56 times like he was last year, and keep him upright. And the other part is to get some weaponry around him to give him some options.
You mentioned giving some weaponry around him. Last year, the supporting cast wasn't doing him any favors. Tough to really get a read on that guy. What are they going to do to try and get some more weapons? Do you have any ideas on who they might go after in free agency to try and put some talent around Cam Ward to really give him a chance?
Well, one of the targets, in my opinion, nothing to really base it on, would be, if I was them, I'd be looking at Alec Pierce stealing him away from the Indianapolis Colts. 18.7 yards per catch in his career.
Yep.
And he's not just catching the ball 20 times a year. Like it's a good sample size. So there's the threat that you have there. First of all, Mike Borgonzi crushed this last draft, and he got some help. Their cupboard was so empty. He needs more help. They have their number 3 and number 4 wide receiver in Elikai Manor from Stanford, and Chimere Dike, the all-pro returner. They got to get number 2 and number 1, and so you would automatically go, well, wait a minute, they got Calvin Ridley. Well, we don't know if they're going to keep Calvin Ridley. They have the most money to spend under the cap, and I'm sure they're working on all kinds of plans. But I would start with that, and then obviously they need enough. And I would say the same thing with pass rusher. I think they look at those positions in the draft as well. And while this, crop of rookies yet to come are going to be a nice class, 2027 looks to be the one that's like all world, like really, really good. So I'd start there. The other thing I find interesting is I've spent last week in Indianapolis at the Combine, and the chatter that started with the Titans in a lot of mocks taking Jeremiah Love at number 4 at running back really got my interest.
Wow.
Jeremiah Love is a 3-down back, and that's a guy that can help your quarterback in this.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Talking about a guy that could stay on the field. Now, it's unfair to put comps and things on this young man and say he's the next, Jahmyr Gibbs or, heaven forbid, the next Christian McCaffrey. But Robert Saleh has spent a lot of time in San Francisco and knows how an offense can run through a guy like that and help out the whole deal. And then Jeremiah, the other consensus I got from last week in Indianapolis is he is the number 1, and a lot of people believe the only blue chip prospect in this draft. Most talented, most polished, most ready to go. Elite footwork. He showed the speed, 4.36 and 4.37 in the 40 at 6 foot and change, 214 pounds. And he's got something that a lot of these backs are going to have to learn when they go to the next level. He actually has good pass protection for his quarterback. And now, could he get developed and refined in that? Sure. But he's got a good base set there. But his other skills, really good. And, you don't set the touchdown scoring record at Notre Dame without doing something. We're talking, this is Notre Dame now. This is not directional college insert name here. So that is very interesting to me, that they might consider some route of that nature.
You just made Taylor's day there, Rhett.
A Notre Dame fan here. I love Jeremiah Love, but as a Jags fan, I'm saying I think you guys should skip on that one. Move past that.
Well, golly, I wonder why.
I think many choices you guys could make there at 4. Rhett Ryan joining us, executive producer for Titans Radio, doing a little swing around the AFC South this week. And so I think also, Rhett, when we talk about Robert Saleh and Liam Cohen had that moment during the season. That was, they kind of had an interaction midfield, and it was talked about throughout the season. Comments have been made since then of like, we're good, we're friends, we've talked, it's whatever. But do you think that something like that adds to a rivalry like what Jags and Tennessee can have?
I can tell you this. I've been around enough head coaches and assistant coaches. Most everyone is at the very least cordial. Some are very friendly, and obviously that's a tight circle of people that end up working with each other or know someone that they commonly worked with. But I do know this. when it's game week and game day, they hate their guts. Like shaking hands at the end and whatever, but the niceties go out the window.
Yep.
Like it's war.
We feel the same.
The competitive nature of those coaches comes out just like the players do. I'll be interested because I've heard from Jacksonville that Liam Cohen keeps receipts, so we'll see what happens with the Titans and the Jags lock horns the first time of two, and see what that exchange is like, depending on how the score and the outcome is.
I think Tony Khan at AEW could set something up in midfield, babe. That's what I'm talking about.
Main event.
Yes, Tony Khan could absolutely make that happen. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Sure.
Yep. Hey, Rhett, so as you're looking at the Titans as they go into the offseason and the draft, what are they going to be focusing on? You got an offensive line, I would imagine. J.C. Latham, it looked like he struggled a lot this year, but what's it going to be, do you think?
No, you're talking about at number 4, just needs overall.
Yeah, overall. Yeah, what are they gonna concentrate on?
It's a list. It's quite a list. I mean, and obviously we're less than a week away from the new fiscal year and free agency, so not knowing exactly what that's going to be like, I'll answer it with this. Kevin Zeitler was a 1-year, 35-year-old right guard.
Yep.
You mentioned J.C. Latham, but 14 penalties. Dan Moore Jr., the big free agent pickup they got from Pittsburgh, had 7 penalties of his own. That's 21 penalties on the offensive line between 2 tackles.
Yep.
So they cut Lloyd Cushenberry. They need a center. They need a starting right guard. They need to figure out what J.C. Latham. I mean, there's work to do along that line.
Yep.
Peter Skoronski is the strongest link in the chain.
Yeah, solid. Yep.
And has gotten better year over year.
Yep.
Let's start there. I mentioned earlier they need a number 1 and a number 2 wide receiver. One of those is in free agency, probably. The other one probably in the draft. You've got 3 and 4 in Chim Dike and in Elikiah Manor. Chiga Okonkwo is about to be a free agent. We'll see if they re-sign him. Gunnar Helm is just off his rookie year out of Texas. So there's some things there. But I haven't even gotten to the defense, y'all. Like, think about it.
That's a long list.
This might take a show.
Yeah, that's where the list really is, because you still need at least 2 more pass rushers, another starter, and one that's situational, and some interior D-line depth and things to go with Jeff Simmons and the crew. You're looking at an off-ball linebacker at level 2 to help out. Secondary is where it's needed. You need another starting safety, and you need at least 2 corners, maybe 3. You got a lot of young players. I mean, they're at times during the season last year, I think there was as many as 9 rookies on the field between both sides of the ball. I mean, they played 10 rookies like extensively because they were so young. Now, the great thing there is hopefully there's some growth in year 2 because of experience, because they weren't rookies by midseason. They'd played so many snaps. But that's a long list of stuff.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, there's a 50% roster turnover last year, and between free agency and draft, there'll be nearly that again because they're so young. They don't have a ton of veterans. But, look, it's down to this, getting the right weaponry on the defense so that Robert Saleh and Gus Bradley can run that like they want, and getting help for Cam Ward to see if they can battle in the AFC South, because we know what that's like, and you guys have seen it personally with what a year that 2024 was for the Jags, and then Liam Cohen and company come in 2025 was much better, although it ended abruptly in the playoffs.
Yeah, long list of stuff, but you got a ton of salary cap space to work with this offseason. We saw what the Patriots did with all their salary cap space. They went shopping and were able to flip the thing around. I mean, how do you feel about this? Is this something that they could patchwork together and make it work and flip the switch, or do you feel like this is a little bit of a longer road? It's
a longer road. Like, if we're being honest, they need this acquisition period between free agency and draft and another, and then the cupboard would be pretty full to run. Now, they can improve themselves with this, and especially if Mike Borgonzi does a repeat excellent job that he did in 2025. But yeah, there's a lot of pieces that have yet to be attained in this, and they're super, super young. But yeah, they can improve year over year with some roster stuff. But I think this time next year, what they do is going to be where they really start to surface to the top.
Yeah, Mike Morganti definitely has his work cut out for him this offseason. Right. We appreciate your time. I know you will have what seems like should be quite an eventful free agency and draft for you guys as you start this rebuild process right now. So enjoy all of that.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we're looking forward to how they spend the money that they do. And obviously they're in that window where they have to spend a certain percentage of the cap in the next 3 years. So there'll be extra money spent. And then they have picks 4 in round 1, 35 and 2, 66 and 3, and then just outside of the very top of round 4 of 101. So they have 4 picks. They got 9 total.
Okay.
And they'll. He's not necessarily a wheeler dealer. He wants capital to get body in there. So be a lot of work to do, and he's the man to do it.
Yeah, so far you talk about that draft last year. So again, enjoy this off season. I know things will be heating up pretty quickly.
Thank you all for having me. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you,
All right.
you too.
Thanks, Rhett.
Yeah, quite the list.
Yeah.
You don't want that grocery list going into
they got a
things,
lot to
but you
do.
do have a lot of capital, and that's something that you look at.
Yeah.
They have the second most money to spend this offseason, and then you talk about the draft too, adding into that. And if you feel like Cam Ward is your guy, which I think on that final stretch they were seeing enough out of, okay, let's see what we can build and add some extra guys up front, get him some weapons, and see what this team can look like.
Yeah, definitely some flashes from Cam. He was just in a tough spot. I mean, I feel like it's the same conversation we've had around Trevor at times where it was like, who are the guys he's throwing the ball to?
Yep.
You can't hold the offense's results completely on the quarterback when, I mean, he mentioned it, like Elokayo Manor, he might be fine as like a wide receiver 3, but he was playing a lot of snaps.
Yeah.
He was I think he was undrafted or a late round draft pick. Either way, it's not like you're throwing to a first round rookie.
Yeah.
Right? You're throwing to a guy who at the very least was day 3, if not undrafted. Cam Ward wasn't. Gunnar Helm was his like most consistent receiver toward the end of the season. He was a 5th round draft pick. It's not like he was throwing to a ton of talent or established guys.
Yeah.
He was covered was bare.
Well, and the 55 sacks, which doesn't count all the hits.
Doesn't help anybody. Yeah.
He had another 30 knockdowns probably,
Yeah.
So he got knocked around quite a bit.
Let's continue this conversation. I want to link some of this to the Jaguars and their offseason, what it can look like in comparison to the rest of the division. So we'll do that coming up next on Helmets and Heels, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
For 25 years, Instant Keys has been the go-to locksmith service for car keys, transponders, and even high-tech smart locks. For honest, professional locksmith service,
Instant Keys comes to you.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. From GFL, Green for Life.
Been in a car crash? I'm local attorney Rick Alexander, and I've made it our mission at the Alexander Law Practice to listen to you so I can fight for the best possible result for you. I've been practicing over 30 years, and our team focuses on guiding you through the entire process. And because fees and reimbursement costs come out at the end of the case, I will never ask you to come out of pocket. For a free review, call 904-400-6600 or log on to alexanderlawpractice.com, Jacksonville.
All right, Jacksonville, spring has officially arrived when the pollen's flying, the grass is growing, and your septic system starts thinking about getting your attention. Trust me, a simple pump out now can save you from a disaster that'll have the whole neighborhood holding their noses. That's why you call Duck Duck Rooter the only master septic contractor in Northeast Florida. Real pros, not somebody guessing with a shovel. Right now, schedule your spring septic clean and get $50 off septic tank pumping. So when you're stuck, call the Duck, 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
Are high-interest credit cards and other loans sucking the life out of your finances? It's time to say no more. Let Loan Pronto tap the equity on your home and get the cash you need now so you can pay it all off. Hey, it's Prosser here. Corey and Jack called Loan Pronto in a matter of days. They had $160,000. They kept their 3% mortgage intact, didn't even need an appraisal, and with all that cash, they wiped out all their credit cards and 2 car loans, saving $2,000 a month. You can do it too. LoanPronto.com, the rapid equity loan program, can get you $100,000, $200,000, even $500,000 in cash. Chloe and Ethan just did it. Consolidated all their high-interest debt into one super low monthly payment, giving them an extra $1,000 a month. Imagine, pay off all the credit cards, slash your monthly payments, breathe easier. Get your life back. Interest rates are at 3-year lows. Call Loan Pronto today, 904-999-1500. That's 904-999-1500, or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about not looking at the rearview mirror of unforgiveness. It's so easy to keep looking in the past when someone has hurt or offended us. What we don't realize is that if we keep looking at the rearview mirror of anger, it will cause us to miss out on the good things that God has in store right in front of us. Friends, looking in the rearview mirror of the past will never give you peace in the present.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
The Golf Club of Southampton is gearing up for brand new greens and a lot more. And now's your chance to save on membership before the fee increase. Take advantage of $1,000 savings if you join before the work starts in late April and before the initiation fee goes up. It's a great deal, plus $500 additionally in Pro Shop credit. Don't miss out. All the details are at golfsouthampton.com. Become a member now and save big. The course is in great shape, so head on out to the Golf Club of Southampton. Call 287-PLAY and get on the tee.
For the ultimate and unique gift ideas, visit CuneFlowers.com. RJ Saunders here, and no matter what the reason, Cune Flowers has it all. Sending flowers was never so easy, either online, on the phone, or in their super cool showroom. Cune Flowers converts the extra point every time.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
All right, wrapped up with Rhett Ryan. He covers the Titans up there in Nashville. And so a long list for them to figure out this offseason. And it does seem like it's the start of a build. You have 2-3 years until you probably feel there, unless you're really lucky. We've seen some teams make that quick turnaround. A Washington maybe example, even though they kind of fell back down to earth this last year a little bit with Jaden Daniels injuries. But you mentioned the Patriots. The Patriots, in that sense, you feel like you have a quarterback. You go spend a lot of money, hit a couple draft picks. Next thing you know, I don't think it's that easy to just hit the Super Bowl, but at least you're competing.
Got to hit on the coordinators.
You got
to hit on the coordinators, and he's still 3 head coaches.
Yeah.
Right? You got
Dable and Gus.
Yeah, Gus. Yeah.
What do you think that dynamic between Saleh and Gus will look like when it comes to the defense?
You know, it's funny. Rhett said man under Saleh, and Gus is a cover 3.
Yeah.
Like, shell. Don't get beat deep. Those 2 different styles of coverage.
Well, they were together in San Francisco just this past year, so they've at least worked together in the same vicinity.
Yeah. San Francisco wasn't very good, though.
Well, they were missing everybody.
Yeah.
Nick Bosa was out. Warner was out for a while. I mean, they were missing almost their whole D-line for a while.
Yeah.
So that's part of it. I do want to chat a little bit about the Jags side of this, though. Jamal, we were talking earlier, and you mentioned that you do not think Devin Lloyd will return, and you do not think specifically that name to replace him is on the roster either. When we're talking about a Ventrell not being able to step right into the role of Devin Lloyd. I saw somebody post, Daniel Griffiths, obviously, he posts a lot of things, potential free agent replacements for Lloyd if they go that route. Do any of these names stand out to you when it comes to that? And Alex Anzalone, obviously from Detroit, is a name people are mentioning. Leah Chanel, who is played for Kansas City. And then the last one he put on here was Justin Sternad, who was for the Denver Broncos this last year too. So 3 linebackers there, all hitting free agency, not the top ones where we're talking about you're going to have to spend a ton of money on them, so maybe a little bit more manageable when it comes to the Jags.
Yeah, Chanel makes a lot of plays, but he doesn't seem like the same kind of backer. He seems more like a will, free to roam. I think Ventrell's more of a will, to be honest with you. And I know they, look, they play Foye at middle and Lloyd at stronger will, so they flop a little bit, so they're inside backers, if you will. I think Quay Walker, I don't know if we'd get him, but that's going to be a big money guy. So it's almost like you're trading.
If you're not paying Lloyd, do you?
Right. You're going to pay him. He's better in coverage overall. But listen, I've said this before. I think Devin got a bad rap with his coverage skills prior to this year. I never thought it was physical. I thought it was more mental. And I think what they did for him was simplify. What was the thing of the year? Remember the year he had the cast and he dropped like 4 picks. It was like 2 years, like 2024 maybe 23. I don't know. I can't remember. But he was always in the way of the ball, getting in the way. I saw him last season a few times, open field, one-on-one, man-to-man, and he covered his guy down. Now, I saw him got beat by a tight end. It happens, but for the majority of the time, he was covering pretty good. I think he can rush the passer more, Jamal. I think he's built for it. And I don't mean a necessarily outside, 3-4 backer, but inside. Running games with the nose, with the end, doing those, those twists that they do, the chips.
He did that in college.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think whoever gets him, if they utilize him right, they're going to get one heck of a player. I didn't want to see him go. I wouldn't have tagged him. It's just too much. It's way too much. I don't know what he's looking for. Hopefully, maybe he doesn't find what he thinks he's going to find and they bring him back. I don't know. But I'm going to be sad to see him go. But again, look, you only play this game for so long. You got to make as much money as you can. It's the bottom line. I'm sorry, the money's too good to not chase the money. It's life-changing money that you'll never have another opportunity to get that kind of money unless you develop something crazy, scientific, something, whatever. Everybody needs it or whatever, But the chances of any of us doing that are very slim to none. You know what I mean? But what about ETN? Do you think he's got a chance to come back?
I think there's a better chance of Travis coming back than Devin Lloyd because running back is always wonky. Running back, sometimes these backs get out there on the market. They're looking for this number, and then all of a sudden teams start signing other guys that are willing to take less. So there's only going to be so many big money contracts that go out to running backs in an offseason. The Jaguars have a price in mind, and they're going to sit there and hold their price. And if Travis can go out and find more money, good on him. Good luck. It's not that the Jaguars didn't want him back. It's that.
Do you think they've made him that offer yet?
I think I think Travis and his people have an idea of what that is. I think almost all of the Jaguars free agents know kind of where the Jaguars stand with them price wise. There are some guys that they want to keep back, but just because a guy leaves and goes somewhere else doesn't mean that the Jaguars didn't make him an offer or want him back. Yeah. Like Buster Brown. I think Buster is an interesting one that is in a kind of interesting spot. Man, had a fantastic season. Talk about, the contract year goes out, plays like, he was the Jaguars CB1 by the end of the season.
Stepping into filling some shoes that you really needed down that stretch for sure.
So now somebody's going to pay him. Starting cornerbacks are hard to find in the NFL.
That's right.
But the Jaguars don't have a ton of salary cap room. They can only make so much space clear up all of a sudden. And they have other places that they also have to improve. They would love to keep Buster. That entire defensive staff was a huge Buster Brown fan. Just not the guy on the field, but the guy off the field. They absolutely love him. So I have zero doubt that he's understanding of like, hey, this fit, it's different. They love me here. Could I stay? But they don't have maybe the money that somebody else, like if Tennessee decided, hey, they need 3 corners, they can throw a crazy contract at him that the Jags just can't.
I was just looking at with Tennessee when we were talking with Rhett. I was trying to remember the DB that they snagged in free agency, but he didn't work out. L'Jarius Sneed.
He
hasn't played at all in 2 years.
Injuries.
Injuries.
And they went hefty to get him.
Big time. You missed on that one. But, I hope he's back because if he's back, there's no pressure to find another corner.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he's going to fit. You get Travis back. I love Jerrion Jones. I think he can play corner. I do. I think he can play in. He can play out. And then you got Jordan Lewis, who proved to be one heck of a player, too. So you're going to be a nice position group there at corner if you can bring Buster. And if not, we wish him well. Get what you can, man, obviously. But hopefully he finds his way back.
Yeah, I think the common denominator with those 3 guys is it was all 3 guys, and you can throw in Antonio Johnson, how much we talked preseason about guys who were just stepped up into roles this season and really proved themselves. Those 3 guys obviously looking at contracts when it comes to ETN, Buster, and Lloyd. But, I think Antonio Johnson this last season earned his spot on this team, and it looks like you're like, okay, well, you feel a little bit more comfortable at safety than maybe you did a year ago.
Absolutely. Antonio Johnson was never a guy that didn't have like all of the skills and athletic ability. If you sat down right here and we typed up how big you want a safety to be, how fast you want him to be, like it would look like Antonio Johnson. But I think we also had to take it into account, like he's a young player who changed defensive coordinator, was on his third defensive coordinator in year 3.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Very.
Because sometimes, especially for safeties and linebackers, little things change. Read keys change from defense to defense.
Mm-hmm.
So, you go from Mike Caldwell. He kind of came on, had a couple interceptions. Everybody felt a little good going into Nielsen. He ends up as in the starting lineup, didn't play as great.
Yeah.
And then he comes in and finds a home in Coach Camp's defense and really plays his way into the lineup late in the season. So I think he's a guy where the consistency of having Coach Camp for a second season, I think we're really going to see a guy that can take even another step already, because now this is the first time in his career where you can go into a season and say, wow, I already know my job.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I feel like Buster and Antonio are two guys that just get better.
Yeah.
Throw Parker there. Every year they get better.
Every
year since they've gotten here, they've gotten better, and better, and now they're, the fruits of the labor there.
And that's what you want out of your draft picks. That's
exactly
the ideal draft pick. Yeah. So let's continue the Jaguars talk on the other side coming up next on Helmets and Heels, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
We call Jacksonville home because it is our home. Our home sweet home. 1010XL, Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnik Chevrolet is proud to be a 7-time Chevrolet Dealer of the Year recipient, the only dealership in Northeast Florida to ever win this prestigious award, earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness. All part of Nimnik's Treating You Right guarantee. Visit nimnikchevy.com to learn more. For 3 generations, Nimnik has been the place customers keep coming back to. They treat you right. Where do you go? The answer is simple. Nobody but Nimnik. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Living on Amelia Island, having fun in Fernandina Beach? No matter what brings you to the fun, cozy town, make sure you check out the tap room at Mocama Beer Company. With a full flight of craft creations, from the Cosmico IPA to the Motor, the perfect Pilsners and lagers, matching memories and some Mocama magic is what it's all about. Mocama Beer Company in Fernandina Beach, near the big water where the sun is born. And look for more Mocama craft at your local Total Wine or ABC Liquors.
It's tournament time, and Best Bet St. Augustine has a full lineup of poker tournaments this month. Don't miss daily no-limit hold'em tournaments with buy-ins ranging from $60 to our $160 6-hour Ironman on Fridays. And don't miss the exciting $300 no-limit hold'em St. Augustine Championship with a $100,000 guarantee from March 26th through the 29th. For more information, visit bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
This is Sheridan Tootin, Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, and Dr. Kevin Murphy put my right shoulder back together a few years ago, and I'm still feeling great. Now I'm using PRP treatment for my knee pain. No matter what you're dealing with, if you're enduring any orthopedic issue, my only recommendation is Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
Call us at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist if you ever have a need.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
We love talking sports on 1010XL, and I-9 Sports loves giving kids the perfect way to grow up playing the game. Spring and summer registration going on right now. Log on to i9sports.com to see all they've got to offer for kids ages 3 and up. Enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount. Year-round sports all across the First Coast. St. John's, Duval, and Clay. Sign up now for spring and summer. Great new locations added like Tofoy Creek High School and Westside Middle. Get your kids in the game with I-9 Sports. Enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount at i9sports.com.
Gold is now around $5,000 an ounce, and silver at an all-time high. If you need cash to help pay bills, then you've got to go to the Estates Roadshow. Gold and silver, old rings, chains, even broken jewelry. Don't wait. Cash in while gold and silver are hot. Go to the Estates Roadshow Monday through Friday in 2 great locations, St. Augustine and Palm Coast. Bring your gold, silver, coins, diamonds, and watches, even broken pieces, and get cash on the spot. The prices of gold and silver are at an all-time high, so there's never been a better time to sell. No appointments, no fees, no pressure, just friendly professional buyers with over 35 years in the business. Go to the Estates Roadshow Monday through Friday in St. Augustine at World Golf Renaissance, just off I-95 and International Golf Parkway, and in Palm Coast at the Holiday Inn Express just off 95 and Palm Coast Parkway. Get some cash in your hands today to help pay those bills at the Estates Roadshow. For more info, visit estatesroadshow.com and follow Estates Roadshow on Facebook for all upcoming events.
Rick Brogan
Lou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental with light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, located in Bartram Park.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's team time, Farah doesn't flinch.
So we're only a few days away now from Players Championship kicking off.
Yeah.
We talk
yeah.
about Ludacris on Tuesday with military
Yeah.
appreciation, and then it's Players Week. Jamal, when you first experienced Players Championship when you moved down here, how amazed were you by just everything and how quickly things go up and the fans and volunteers and just everything that goes into it?
It was crazy. I mean, to wrap my head around it, I just remember trying to get out there, and then it was a complete blur. Of all right, this is fine. On Monday, Tuesday, it's so different. And then by the time you get to Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it's
it's real.
This is crazy. So, I mean, a ton of fun. I love the event every year. I might be one of the most excited people that Ludacris is doing the concert. So
man, that's going to be great.
That'll be fun.
G-rated.
We did talk. He has to keep it family friendly, I heard. So we'll see.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't know.
I don't know how we're going to do that.
We're going to try it out.
I was like, I don't know. Is this going to be Kids Bop version or do we? I don't really know what to expect. Or just, put some headphones on the kids and let them listen to something else.
Move, please get out the way.
Yes, please. Use your manners.
That's right.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah.
They've had great acts, throughout the years, mostly country.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the one group that was, they were really popular?
Oh, the Chainsmokers?
The Chainsmokers, they were good.
They were fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so he'll be great. Ludacris will be great.
It will. It'll be a blast, and obviously that whole day with military appreciation and everything they do with that is phenomenal. Do you have a favorite golfer? Do you golf?
I don't golf.
Okay.
I don't golf.
You got time for golf.
I know. I was like, when do you fit that in?
I'm terrible at top golf. I am bad.
Same.
So no, nobody wants to see me out on the golf course. But I keep up with it. It would be cool to see Rory do it again. I always love a good back-to-back kind of story. So we get to follow that. I mean, what Scotty Schefter's been able to do in recent history, you got to love that and got to respect it. But it's always just fun to be able to see that. I have a ton of respect for what those guys do because watching it up close, and I'm like, I have no idea how you just did that.
Yeah.
But that is extremely impressive.
Yeah.
Probably because
Jamal, I promise you, you're not worse than me.
I don't know. I could give you a run for your money. I'm left-handed. Remember that. So everything's
a little
backwards
wonky
for me.
anyways.
Yes.
I feel like the four of us could have a who's the worst golf outing then, because I'm the same. I always say when people are like, well, it's not, you just can't think about it. But then at the same time, they're like, your feet have to be here, your elbows need to be here, your thumb needs to be here. I'm like, then I'm thinking about everything.
Head straight. Look down.
I'm thinking about everything.
Keep your head down.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, you go through. You're like, okay, and then you go for it, and then by the time you swing,
then
on
I
your
miss.
Backswing, I miss it.
That's it. That's it.
I miss it too.
We have a place. Have you been to Fourscore?
I have.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's a cool
fun.
spot.
Yeah.
And so even that, though, they have obviously different ones if you've never been. There's a couple locations now. But if you go, you can pick which sport. So there's basketball. There's, I think there's I don't even know. There's a bunch of different, kind of a baseball one. There's
Dodgeball.
one I don't even know what it's called. There's a dodgeball one. One you have to get almost golf, but onto these little floating things in the air. I don't know what that's called. But then there's normal golf. And even that, I'm like, I go up there and I swing and I miss.
You have to practice a lot. That's what people don't like. These golfers, and what's really amazing is the cut of just to be a pro. I don't mean cut every week. I'm like, just to make there are so many golfers. You think how many golfers that are scratch golfers, and they are unbelievable golfers, and they are nowhere near these pros.
Yeah.
Or they're not nowhere near, but they're not what the pros are.
Yeah.
You're like, It's that
whole
line
different
is
level.
and it's so competitive. There's so many golfers. You know what I mean? Truly the great ones are in the tournament week in and week out.
It is.
Really
It takes a ton of work out there on the golf course. Ton of respect for folks. I don't either.
I don't want to have time
either.
for that.
I've won at Top Golf once. It was because the friends that I was with were going for all the high points farther off, and I was just hitting it, and all I could get was the one that was like right in front of us.
So, like, strategy.
I just 100 pointed them like to death, and then I was like, I don't know.
I won.
Working on my sand game is drinking on the beach. You know what I mean? That's what I'm doing. Yeah, the sun
And
goes
I
down.
always see and there's like memes about it too, where it's like the golfers when it's like the alley and there's just fans lined up and like somebody would die if I was the one.
Absolutely. Who's
Call
blind after it?
911. Call them before I swing because it's happening.
Yeah. All right. I wanted to chat that just a little bit with players around the corner, but let's get back to the Jaguars in hour 2 coming up next on Helmets and Heels, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Find Florida Gators basketball on 1010XL.
Fifth-ranked Florida travels to Kentucky for an SEC tournament tune-up at Rupp Arena. Gators Wildcats, Saturday at 4 on 1010XL.
If your lawn took a beating this winter, listen up. Prosser here for Julington Creek Pest Control. They've just started the first of 3 rounds of premium granular fertilizer. No cheap liquid fertilizer here. Custom blended for Northeast Florida lawns. Their certified technicians apply slow-release nutrients. Rebuild your lawn thick, strong, and green over time. Plus, they protect your home from pests and termites. Call Julington Creek Pest Control today. Our family serving yours since 1984.
Not everyone is built for a cubicle. At Local 234, apprentices get paid to learn hands-on skills like plumbing, pipe fitting, HVAC, the stuff Jacksonville runs on. No endless lectures, no massive student debt, just hands-on training, real jobs, and real pay. This is how you level up, by doing work that actually matters. Check them out at UA234.com. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Local 234. Make the right connection.
Hey, life can get a little hectic at times, and no one has time to get hurt. Lost wages, injuries that not only hurt, but ones that hinder our success. If you're in this position due to the negligence of another, you deserve to get paid. What's up, Jacksonville? Tom McManus here. Injuries suck, and I know it. And if you get injured, check out Morgan & Morgan, largest personal injury law firm in the country. 100 offices, over 1,000 lawyers with enough firepower to handle any and all personal injury cases that you may be dealing with. They make filing a claim easy, and they don't get paid unless you do. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Visit forthepeople.com or hit Pound Law from your cell. Pound Law, that's all.
It's Gator passion on display when Patrick Young brings power forward intensity to the drill.
Patrick Young, a rip and a run.
Fast breaks and clutch shots with Dan and Jeff. Friday mornings at 8:30. Tipped off by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists on 1010XL.
Pickett here for Action Garage Door. Nothing more frustrating than your garage door misfiring. When it does, I call Action Garage Door. They take action. Jeff and Art and crew, Jacksonville folks, not some big out-of-town chain. Something goes wrong with your garage door, take action. Check them out. Garage Door 911, garagedoor911.com.
This is Victor Patel, CEO of North Florida Medical Center. Have you been in an auto accident? Are you feeling pain or stiffness? Our board-certified team has over 15 years' experience helping patients recover through chiropractic care, physical therapy, pain management, primary care, and neurology. Even minor injuries can cause long-term problems if left untreated. Schedule your free consultation today at nfmcjax.com. North Florida Medical Center, bringing the care back to healthcare.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Winter is in full swing, and Aleve is here to keep you moving. When the cold weather sets in, everyday aches and pains can linger, but Aleve's got your back. With up to 12 hours of body pain relief per dose, Aleve keeps you going with long-lasting body pain relief to get you through whatever the season brings. Chilly days or cozy nights, Aleve gives you that long-lasting body pain relief you can count on this winter. Try Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. If you have a school, team, or group that would benefit from a team store, you're in luck because we now offer team stores. Check us out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. I'm celebrating a little anniversary this week. 2 years ago, I hit my goal weight with a Waco 180. 40 pounds gone, and now I know it's not 100 plus like Hacker, but 40 was my number. That was the weight holding me back, slowing me down. And the best part? Free maintenance for life. That's the difference. I didn't do it with meds, didn't do it with side effects, didn't rely on a shortcut that I had to stay on forever. I did it with a plan, awesome coaching, and learning how to eat in a way that actually works in real life. Awaken 180 knows you travel, knows you eat out, knows you have cravings. A real-life plan for real-life people. Maybe your number's 25 pounds. Maybe it's 40 like mine. Maybe it's over 100 like Hacker. Whatever your number is, we're proof you can reach it and keep it off without putting something in your body you don't want there. Awaken 180 works. Get your number at awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm RJ Saunders for 1010XL. This update brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. The Jacksonville Jaguars have made it official that they are agreeing to terms with tight end Quentin Morris. Morris, who signed with the Jaguars as an unrestricted free agent last offseason, reportedly has agreed to terms with the team on a one-year contract extension. He'll become a fifth-year veteran on next Wednesday at the start of the 2026 NFL league year. The Jacksonville free agent re-signings include Keith Taylor, Christian Braswell, DJ Dallas, and also Matt Dickerson. Right now, 80 degrees at 3 o'clock, time and 10, brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
All right, hour
Is this
two.
one of yours?
This is not actually. It's not yours. Maybe it's just one of Aaron's. Is this one of your songs?
I figure you guys like it. I saw some head bobbing in there.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
I like
good. I
it.
just thought maybe it was a
So we
Taylor
have-
special.
We have a Spotify list, Jamal, that we
Okay.
play. So we'll add songs to it that each of us like because we have some similar music tastes, but it varies a little bit. And so that way we each get our own flavor into the show, with our music. And
it.
sometimes we have to play a guessing game of whose song is this.
Normally you can guess Taylor's.
Yeah.
She's like,
I listen to a lot of like heavy stuff.
that
Like
it?
yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
they're like, well, this is Taylor because someone's screaming
right.
in the song.
country's LB.
Yeah.
Lauren's always country.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
It's a good balance. That's
Yeah.
a good balance.
Yeah, exactly.
We get a little bit of everything on this show. I want to chat a little bit about the Jaguars when we come to we talked about Buster, we talked about ETN and Lloyd. So I want to ask you this question. When it comes to those three, let's say all three of those hypothetically are not returning on the Jaguars, which position group do you think is affected most by losing that player?
But corner.
Yeah.
Losing Buster is the biggest influx. I mean, Tommy, you mentioned Jarian.
Yep.
And I believe in Jarian. I like Jarian as a player, but you got to see it at some
Yeah.
point consistently. I mean, we've seen flashes of him on the outside last season, but you also saw him get benched last season early in the year. So it's different for that guy. And you know what? You want to be slow with him because I think going into the season, he said, man, this is the first time in my life I've ever played zone coverage. He had been man-to-man corner back to high school point. I got that guy, which is fair enough. So this was his first time learning how to do that. And that's a whole different skill set, whole different part of the brain almost of like, walk out, I'm going to cover this guy across from me as opposed to, okay, well, now I got to start looking at route patterns and matches and, I'm supposed to stay here, passing off, and the communication is different. So I do think, I don't think we've seen the best out of him, but I do think that there's a big question mark on how comfortable can you be going into the season if you have Travis Hunter, who's coming off of an injury, Jordan Lewis, that's coming off of an injury, and Jarian Jones, who, showed
You just
flashes.
want a little more.
But you just want a little more. You have to find something there. If you have Buster, I feel better. I feel better. But if not, you start saying, all right, you got to spend a high draft pick on it, or you got to find somebody else in free agency to come in and just give you a floor. Like, I think one way or another, Jordan Lewis is going to be fine. He'll be ready for training camp, and he's a huge leader. Like, I think that what he brought off the field was more valuable than him on the football field last season. But you still need bodies on the field.
Yeah.
So out of the three, you'd keep Buster.
I'd keep Buster.
Yeah, good call.
I'd keep Buster.
Good call. He deserves it, man.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's gotten better every year. He can play the corner, CB1. He can get it done. And if Travis comes back and he's healthy, man, he's shown that he can really play corner. I mean, that'll be good. I feel the same about the interior defensive line. You know, Agba didn't do anything for me. I love Smoot. He's been a great Jaguar, but I think we got to get a little bit more than him.
Right.
Eric's good when he's healthy, but, you know, he gets hurt, and then, you know, things happen. D-Ham's great. You know, he's great nose tackle, but other than that, you know, they signed Dickerson, he can come off the bench and make some plays here and there.
Mason Smith just hasn't.
Mason doesn't do anything. He hasn't done anything.
Nothing.
That's been, you know what I mean? So I almost
They
feel
need some
like
juice.
And I hope, they need some juice in that interior defensive tackle.
Yeah, they got to add something there, and that's where you got to free up some money to do that, which is tough. Where you start saying, okay, well, who can you keep, and find a way to improve there. It's a thin free agency class and a thin drafted interior defensive tackle.
It is.
So it's a tough spot you're in. One other thing on like re-signing Buster, I think that sends a message to your team that if you're a guy that as a 7th round draft pick, but goes and does it the right way, find a way to be better, that's who they value and will find a way to pay you, as opposed to like some places where, where you were drafted is all that matters. No, this guy worked his way into the lineup. It matters. But defensive tackle is their biggest weakness right now. You got to find a way to improve there, whether it's keeping Eric, whether it's moving on from Eric, whether it's drafting a guy, drafting and signing somebody. You got to find something. You got to find some juice there.
I always feel like if you're going to let a guy go, you got to find the replacement that equal value or better. I mean, can't be lesser value.
You got to upgrade.
You know, right? You got to upgrade. So if Eric's healthy, can you upgrade him with what's out there? I mean, Jonathan Franklin Myers with the Denver, he's phenomenal. Other than that,
you can't afford it. Probably
you can't afford him.
You can't afford him. Right.
One of the guys that popped up, I know, like Calais Campbell's obviously royalty around here, so every time he pops on the market, he's the mayor. Everybody's like, bring the mayor home, and the mayor's like 40. So like, but he's still playing at a high level.
You only need him for a year.
You do. You only need him for a year.
Maybe two.
An older guy that just popped on the market today. Like the reports are all over the place that the Saints are letting Cam Jordan walk.
I saw that.
He's in that same kind of mold as Calais Campbell, a guy who can give you some outside, some inside. And he's toward the end of his career, but he's still playing good football that could give you some reps on third down at defensive tackle, give you some reps as that third defensive end, and honestly, leadership in the locker room too. So he would be a guy that I'd be interested in. I don't think will break the bank too.
If we go that route, do we have to get rid of Eric or just restructure?
I think you just restructure. I think his contract is one of those ones where they do have a decision to make. Do you restructure him, or do you move on from him to save a bunch of money? Because if you make him a post June 1 cut,
that's a lot of money.
You free up like 13 or 16 million.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
So they basically could fix their salary cap problem with one move.
One move, right?
So he's kind of in that spot, and that's the tough spot they're in, because honestly, a lot of their contracts don't have outs where they don't have these ready-made guys that they can cut or restructure to free up money.
And just look, I mean, when he was healthy, he played great.
Absolutely.
Injured at camp, though, with the back, like didn't participate at all.
Second year in a row.
Right. Then the hand, it happens. I'm not saying he's prone, but look, as you get older and you get injured, you are more apt to get injured again.
Absolutely.
So you do need something.
And he battled that before getting here, too.
He did,
And that was part of the conversation. If you get him healthy, you're getting a really good player, but you just got to, and that's not a guarantee is the problem. And that's why the defensive line is so important, because it felt like last year, anytime when Trayvon gets hurt, has the club, he's not 100%, Eric gets hurt, there was no what you felt like somebody who could come in and step into that role, and it feel even a tiny drop off you'll get from starters, but it felt like a massive drop off when those guys aren't healthy.
I think we thought they had it in Ugba. When they signed Ugba, I said, okay, he's going to be, but he wasn't that. You brought Smoot back, and I think Smoot gave you a little something, but not enough juice. That's why by the end of the season, it was B.J. Green and Danny Strogal, which it says a lot that both of those undrafted free agents were able to get into the lineup.
Like both of them.
But they both played good ball.
Yeah, they did.
So you hope that both of them are going to take another step in their careers. I know, like, talking to B.J. Green at the end of the year, he was like, I'm just getting started. He said, give me a full off season to actually get right, and now I know what to expect. He said he wasn't done. So
he's a natural pass rusher, that kid. That lean that he has going around, that lean. It's like,
and he's that short, compact build.
Just can get around. He's fast. He could be interesting coming off the bench.
Yeah.
They're very different guys, too, because he's short, compact, and Danny Strogal's like,
Danny's a great player, too, man. He's got a lot A lot of motor. He's a big guy, strong guy. Can play in or out. Yeah.
What are your feelings, Jamal, when it comes to, because we had this conversation last year, to your point about Agba. I thought when Agba was going to come in, he was going to be this, rotational, situational guy. You'd be able to send him in there. He'd get 5, 6, 7 sacks this season. Obviously, it didn't pan out that way. But if you did find that guy, if you were able to hit on a guy like that, how confident are you on that and seeing Trayvon more on the inside?
Look, I think they're still searching for that third edge.
Yeah.
They haven't found it since Arden Key left. They've been looking for it since Arden Key walked. Who's that third guy? Trenton Baalke never really brought in a whole lot of competition for that. James Gladstone tried to went the veteran route. We'll see what they ultimately decide to do. They know they got to get that guy because injuries happen. Yeah. But if you want to keep that defensive line fresh, you got to have bodies to go out there.
No
doubt. That's how you keep Josh, Trayvon, even Eric healthy for when you're trying to make a run in January. Be able to rotate them out throughout the season. Don't play as heavy of a snap count. I mean, I can tell you, Josh will hate to hear that because he's one of those guys that's competitive, wants to play every snap. But when he's feeling great in January, he's going to love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's like, wow, this is what it's supposed to feel like.
Yeah. So that's kind of part of it. But you got to go find that guy. And those guys don't walk. You don't find them during free agency.
No,
easy.
right. There's a couple that maybe, Boye Mafe from out west, Seattle. Who is it? Awa from San Diego, the Chargers. He's another guy.
Yep.
I mean, we talked earlier in the week. I mean, I would love for Trey Hendrickson to be a defensive end here. He would upgrade the defense immediately. That doesn't seem like that can happen. But
you bring Kayla Vaughn home.
Yeah. But you do need, that's what you're talking about, a situational, come off the bench. You don't have to worry about, whether you're playing stand up or down in the ground. We're playing nickel or dime. You're going to be my outside guy. We're moving Trayvon down. We need you to win one-on-one battles.
Right. And that's what they got to make the decision on. Because Jalen McLeod's another guy. That's what he did at Auburn.
Yeah, right.
And we really never saw him. So they did a little bit of that with Dennis Gardeck, who's another guy we haven't really talked about.
I like Gardeck.
I think they'll get Gardeck back.
Okay.
They need to get him back, I think.
He's great.
He's the kind of guy you want on your team.
Flexible. He can do a little bit of everything. A maniac on special teams.
Yeah.
I think they'll
and then you
find a
talk
way to
about the
keep him.
guy. And the type of guy he is. Everybody, you hear all the players love Gardeck.
Absolutely. I mean, he's a maniac, and that's what they love about him. So I think they'll get him back. But you have him who gave you some edge reps. Jalen McLeod's that same kind of mold. That's what he did at Auburn. He's having to learn to be a linebacker, so maybe he can give you a little bit of that.
Yeah.
So a mixture of those young guys. Maybe.
Yeah, right.
Maybe.
Yeah. But I think you do, when you talk about the defensive line, solidifying some of that stuff is definitely going to be one of the priorities. We're going to mix things up a little bit on the other side, and we're going to talk to Paul Biancardi, college basketball analyst and NBA draft analyst. So we'll talk a little bit March Madness, the Selection Sunday, just over a week away now at this point, and then we're full into March Madness, which is a really fun time. So we'll do that coming up next on Helmets and Heels, 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's the First Coast's biggest event of the year. The Players Championship. Track your favorite golfers and get live Southeast Orthopedic Specialist leaderboard updates. Teed up by G&H Tire Service, Michelob Ultra, and Sawgrass Asset Management on 1010XL.
When you're a little kid on the playground, they tell you don't hit back. Well, the courtroom isn't a playground. And if you've suffered an injury or death in your family, I'm here to tell you it's okay to hit back and fight to make them pay. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we understand all the pain and emotion that comes with being wrong. And we've dedicated our lives to making things right for people like you. So if you get hit back with Hastings Injury Law. Offices, Jacksonville.
When you're hungry, go big, and more importantly, go to Dailies, where they got anything and everything to tantalize your taste buds and fill you up. At Dailies, our barbecue beef brisket sandwich is slow smoked to perfection, tender, juicy, and full of bold flavor. It's the kind of sandwich that truly satisfies. Try the barbecue brisket sandwich at Dailies. Meanwhile, some favorites never go out of style. The Duval sub at Dailies is stacked, loaded, and made with the bold flavor you want in every bite. Fresh ingredients, big taste. It's a local favorite. Grab the Duval sub today at Dailies. Or maybe you just want a delicious chicken sandwich. Some choices just work. The chicken sandwich at Dailies is crispy on the outside, it's juicy on the inside, and it is full of flavor. Perfect for lunch, perfect for dinner, perfect anytime hunger hits. So grab the chicken sandwich today at Dailies. Dailies is made fresh, it's made local, and Dailies is built for big appetites. I'll see you there today.
Put the ball in the net with 60 minutes of soccer talk. The Coaches Show presented by Sporting Jacks. Cole Pepper, Sporting Jacks head of soccer Mark Warburg, and Sporting Jacks women's coach Stacey Baylor. Tuesday evenings at 6 on 1010 a.m.
The Players' Championship returns to TPC Sawgrass March 10th through 15th. Experience golf's most iconic stage with enhanced food and beverage offerings, interactive fan attractions, and an atmosphere built for every type of fan. See the best players in the world, including world #1 Scotty Scheffler, 2025 champion Rory McIlroy, and fan favorite Brooks Koepka take on the legendary Stadium Course and the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and you've got some really cool events coming up in your showroom on Atlantic near Regency.
We've got some exciting things. All new Euro motorcycle, fresh out of the box. I've never seen it. Some demo days. We got Sully here to give us the detail.
Yes, so March 12th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. we have a Euro demo day. Come out, test ride, and see if this is your next bike you're going to get.
Very exciting stuff. All new Euro. You're going to want to see this. Everybody loves sidecars.
Want more details? Check out Cycles of Jacksonville on Facebook and their Instagram page.
This is Frank Frangi for the farm in Okefenokee. Can you imagine owning a handcrafted cabin tucked into a 1,000-acre regenerative farm? Imagine enjoying fresh produce from the garden, fruit from the orchard, meats from the smokehouse. Every meal is a true farm-to-table experience all year long. Belong to a place where your family can choose nature over screens, spending their days feeding animals, picking berries, and fishing in the farm's pond. Learn more at okefarm.com. That's okefarm.com.
SportsForecaster.com has all the data you need to project tomorrow's winners. Register for free and track the performance of all your favorite players and teams, including all your fantasy team picks and prospects. Sports Forecaster has the most detailed player profiles on the web, precise depth charts, every transaction, every injury, every news update. No ranting or raving, no preening or barstool bluster. At SportsForecaster.com, you get the timely info you need for every game. SportsForecaster.com. Sign up for free today.
If you're tired of weekend projects turning into weekend disasters, you're not alone. Building a fence isn't as easy as it looks. And let's face it, your neighbor still hasn't fixed his lopsided masterpiece. But Superior Fence and Rail makes it easy. Highly trained professionals, top quality materials, and a fence you'll love for years to come. Skip the stress and call the pros today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Work it, make it, do it. Makes us all better, faster, stronger.
All right, just shifting a little bit, Paul Biancardi, as we're efforting him. If that does not happen, we will talk some more college basketball as it gets a little bit closer to March Madness. Yeah. But we'll continue on some of the other football notes, and there is a few different things that happened today. One of the bigger ones we were just talking about off air a little bit, and that is DJ Moore being traded to the Bills. I think the main thing is good for the Bills in this. Yeah. We've talked so much about how you really need to get Josh Allen a true weapon, and that's been the conversation. And I love Khalil Shakir. I think some of the things he does when it comes to route running and missed tackles and some of that stuff is really fun to watch. But the deep threat that DJ Moore can be, and you can honestly use him wherever on the football field. That's the positive thing about DJ. That's a big thing for Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, he's not that different from maybe what Stephon Diggs was at one point in his career. Both of them, you kind of just let them work. You get the ball in the football in his hands and let him do some stuff after the catch. Hate to see that for the AFC landscape. Absolutely, because I mean, you just saw Buffalo and Josh Allen come to Jacksonville without that guy.
Yeah, maybe with him, coming over, Keon Coleman can get going for them. I know that Bean, the GM, said he really backed him up and wanted him to, be a part of that Bills offense. Didn't have a great year last year, had drops and whatnot. But
he blamed it on McDermott, but then it came out that it was the GM that wanted it.
Yeah, right. Cam Newton bullied that guy into being a good NFL player. I'm sorry. Keon Coleman has no choice but to find a way to be a good pro.
Yeah, but they needed that weapon. I mean, their tight ends are great. The running back's great. Their O-line's very good. Of course, Josh is awesome. So they need that kind of threat, just like you said, when they had Stephon Diggs, man, they made a difference in the game. And like we've seen here in a different kind of way, Jacoby Myers comes in, which allows Brian Thomas to go on the outside. As far as they're concerned, they get an outside guy. Now their guys can play comfortably where they're supposed to.
Yeah. Another note, Tom Pelissero wrote, former Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson is visiting the Browns today. So the Browns still trying to figure out their quarterback room, I guess. It's a little bit of madness up there.
It's always madness in Cleveland. Look, there's never going to be answers there. Yeah. I mean, it always feels like it's something. And like, I understand. I know there's a Shadur fan club that hates to hear it, but he was fine. But I don't know that if you watched any of the games, whether or not you should be sold that he's the guy and they shouldn't have competition for him.
Right. He should have competition.
Absolutely.
I mean, anybody in that situation, especially with the new coach, unless you're clearly ahead of everybody else, which he's not. We don't know what he is. Yeah. That's why he's got to earn it. You got to put him in the competition. The thing that gives that quarterback room hope, though, is Todd Monken. He's a good offensive mind. He's a good quarterback guy. Maybe can make something out of it. It's interesting. You hear AR, sniffing around there. Then you hear these kind of, rumors.
Yeah. I mean, that Anthony Richardson thing is going to be very fascinating to follow along with, too, and what teams. We hear the Vikings a lot kind of linked to that.
That's where he should be trying to go.
I think so also.
Get in the same building with O'Connell and getting that offense. Yeah. I mean, at this point, he should either be trying to get to Kyle Shanahan or O'Connell. Yeah. Because, I mean, look at the quarterbacks or McVay. But McVay hasn't had as many quarterbacks just pass through and go on. Right. San Francisco's had those. Look, Mac Jones is going to go. Somebody's going to give him another shot. Sam Darnold was the same thing. I mean, these guys have passed through and just spent some time there, and then all of a sudden it's like, this is how you play football.
Right. Yeah. This is how you read a defense. Wow, this is pretty cool.
The light bulb comes on, whatever that is. Yeah. So we mentioned this one a second ago, but after 15 years in New Orleans, Cam Jordan is set to become a free agent. Did you know Cam Jordan had 10.5 sacks last year?
He's good.
Wow. He always seems to be around that number.
Yeah.
8 to 10 every single year.
The previous years, it was only 4 and 2, but 10.5, 8.5, 12.5, 7.5, 15.5, 12, 13, 10, 12.5.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
He's been consistent. I mean, he's been in the league for so long, stacking up sacks. That's what I mentioned. He's a guy who I don't think a team's going to break the bank on him because he's nearing the end of the career. He's going to be real selective on where he goes.
Yeah.
Could the Jaguars maybe entice him to come and join that defensive line, give you a slight boost? You draft a couple of guys on day 2 or day 3,
I like that.
And they don't have to just be thrust into these huge roles because you got a veteran guy like Cam. Maybe you still have Eric with Josh and Trayvon. You can bring these young guys along.
And when you have production like that consistently, that means not only is he good, but he's a pro.
Yeah.
Like he's ready every single time.
Absolutely.
You don't get that production without it.
Yeah, and the leadership you get from somebody like Cam Jordan also is insane. And I do think that feels like one of the storylines where he probably wants to go, to your point, Jamal, somewhere that's a contender. You want to go somewhere where you can win. You're going into year 16. So that could, that kind of matches.
Contender and warm weather. So my body feels better.
Less taxes.
Less taxes. I mean, the only other place that would make, like, his dad was a Vikings great.
Okay.
So maybe he wants to go finish up there in Minnesota and put that Vikings uniform on like dad.
No, they're kind of starting over up there.
Fact check this, but I thought I saw Jonathan Allen from the Vikings get released today.
Did he?
Is that?
Yeah, Jonathan Allen's going to be on
Jonathan
the way
Allen,
out.
actually.
Javon Hargrave's going to be on the way out from up there. So, I mean, those are a couple of options that'll hit the market that if the Jaguars are looking for some veteran, interior defensive line help, I think both of those guys would be improvements over what the Jaguars currently have.
Just need a couple years, even one, but go for 2, and maybe you get an extra third, just getting lucky.
Yeah. Jonathan Allen, 68 tackles, 3.5 sacks last year. I think those are the type of names that you are thinking about here because you don't have the money to pay top money right now for somebody like that. But to this point, if you can get a veteran that you can come in and give you 5, 6, 7 sacks. That's kind of what you're asking. Yeah. That could be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Just plug the hole enough in free agency that you can go into the draft and you're not sitting there saying, we got to go trade up and get Peter Woods.
Right.
Yeah.
We got to go trade up and get this guy or else.
Yeah.
Like, just plug it with something where you're like, all right, I got Cam Jordan. He probably can give me a year.
Right.
And then if I get a guy on day 3, great.
Yeah.
If not, I don't have to force it.
Yeah.
But if you go in with nothing, it's like, oh, we got to go get one of these guys or bust.
Then you're forced. And then that's when you reach for picks. And that's when sometimes you overthink some of the picks. And we've seen that in the past when it comes to it. I was also, when we were talking to Rhett earlier with the Titans, and he mentioned Skoronski. And I immediately was like, Skoronski was the shorter arm. He had shorter arms that everyone was freaking out about in that sense. And he's a pretty good player.
Yeah, he's a good guard out of Northwestern, no doubt. No doubt.
Yeah, I want to go through some of these. So Tyler Sullivan of CBS Sports said some NFL trades that they'd love to see happen, but that can kind of shift the NFL world pretty quickly or drastically at least. And so I want to go through some of these and get your thoughts on this. The number one he has on here is Mac Jones to Miami.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, Miami needs a quarterback. They don't have any, like, look, the 2 experiments done. You got to find something. Do you want to take the flyer on Anthony Richardson? Do you go with the flyer on Mac Jones?
Yes.
I mean, there's not a whole lot. I know there's Malik Willis is supposed to get paid, but I don't understand that enough either.
Right. Yep.
I don't think you've seen enough of him as a quarterback. I'd trust Mac the most if I'm trying to go win games.
Yeah, especially if you're, so your first year as a coach, man, to go with AR without anything else, like that would be too risky.
That's a gamble.
You were like. You got 1 foot in the grave with that. You just don't. You might come out of it, but you got 1 foot. At least you're up to your ankle in the grave, with that. So, and Mac showed that he can win games. I mean, look, when Purdy was hurt, he took him on the road. That first win against New Orleans, I think everyone was like, "Wow, Mac Jones." Like we thought, not that New Orleans was any good, but you just thought, "Wow, Mac was gonna." Not be able to do that, but he ripped off like 3-4 wins in a row, held down the fort. So again, another QB in that system. Maybe that's a way to wake guys up a little. I was going to say with the guy Cam Jordan, maybe that wakes up Mason Smith. That seems to me like that kid's got a ton of talent. Like,
he does.
He should be an animal.
Physically,
absolute
he
animal out there.
For whatever reason, it's just not working.
Yeah, how long is the rope on that, though? Because I feel like you just haven't seen anything. And at this point, we talk about not their guy.
Yeah.
This isn't their guy.
Last regime's draft pick. Yeah. He's a guy who, missed a lot of training camp with a calf injury. And then finally kind of gets there, immediately inactive. He was inactive a bunch under the last regime. There's questions. There's questions for sure. But physically, I mean, you nailed it. I mean, he was a top-ranked recruit for a reason. His high school has retired his jersey. He was that dominant in high school. Like, he
should be at that size.
Yeah. So, and he's probably been that size. I mean, but he was good in flashes at LSU, but injuries got him there.
Yeah, it was.
So, can they get anything?
And a bad defense surrounding him.
And
There's a lot of bad
defense.
things.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, and that's what I think that when you have the conversations about a Mason Smith, and that's the bulky draft sometimes felt like that, where it was this person who, because they were built this way, they should be an NFL player. And sometimes we don't see it pan out that way. Like the most prototypical, he was a project. That was something we talked about coming in.
He was. And you know what Trent liked to do? He looked for discounts coming off of injuries. Like Walker Little was a discount.
Yeah, he was the ACL
guy. Of an injury. He was the ACL guy. Oh, no, everybody's sleeping on this guy because he missed last season. Now we're going to get a steal here. And it's like, well, sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. And he did get some he found some good guys late.
Yeah.
Parker Washington. That was a Trent Baalke draft pick, but he's not a guy who's built necessarily like an NFL wide receiver. He was just a good football player. Antonio Johnson is built like a safety, and for whatever reason, he slid in the draft, and Trent was able to scoop him up.
Great pick.
Same thing with Buster Brown, where he was a guy who didn't have prototypical corner speed coming out, but it led the SEC in interceptions as a senior.
Yeah, right.
So
he's got field speed.
He's got field speed, and he's got processing. So you put him back in that zone defense, and he thrived.
Right.
So the thing is, Trent found some guys, but when he was reaching for those guys that are built like chiseled,
he would overthink it.
He was overthinking it.
Well, even Trayvon's kind of a project at number one. You thought he was going to be this pass rushing, specialist kind of guy, and he's not that, but he's a great player.
Absolutely.
He can do a lot of things for you. But that was you look at
he could play everywhere, and he was huge and had the prototypical body of what you'd want out of that.
I can make something out of that. Yeah.
He's a home run swing.
Yeah,
for sure.
Trayvon was a home run swing. You looked at him and said, "Man, he looks like an NFL Defensive Player of the Year."
He does. Looks like Myles Garrett. I mean, look at him. Yeah.
He does. I remember him walking on the field for rookie minicamp. I was like, "All right." Yeah. I can see it.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I also think that if Aiden Hutchinson wasn't in that draft, you probably wouldn't, if you just drafted Trayvon and the guys after were running backs and maybe, you know, some other players. The fact that it was Aiden, that's the conversation that constantly comes up is you drafted Trayvon over Aiden.
I think it was a Jim Harbaugh thing. And I will continue to say it. That was just petty.
Yeah.
That was petty.
Right. Yeah.
That was a Harbaugh guy, and that went back to San Francisco. Trent will never admit it, but you're not going to convince me otherwise.
You're right. Yeah, good call on that.
Oh man, I honestly I've heard some people
let that get in the way.
You did. I remember sitting there watching that draft. I was actually on vacation the week that draft happened, and I was sitting there, and the whole bar is all Jags fans at this place, and we were in Myrtle Beach, and everybody was like, "Oh, Aiden Hutchinson." And I was like, "I don't think so. I'm hearing they're taking Trayvon Walker," and everybody was like, "No way!" Like, I think so. This is what we're hearing. And then it happened, and it was kind of silent for a minute. And I don't want to discredit. Like, Trayvon's also,
he is great.
We love Trayvon Walker here, obviously, and we've had a lot of conversations of utilizing him the right way and healthy Trayvon. We've seen the back-to-back 10+ sack seasons, and that's just what you want. That's what you expect at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the tough thing. Like, at one point, there were reports coming out that, the Jaguars want to sign Trayvon to an extension this offseason. Well, James Gladstone should want to sign him to an extension this offseason. Yep. He's coming off a 3.5 sack season. I would make you an offer right now. But if I'm Trayvon's agent, I'm not listening. I'm telling Trayvon, I need you to go out there. I need you to be healthy. I need you to do what Josh Hines-Allen did, what Devin Lloyd did. Go get me another 10, 12 sacks, and the price tag is going to just go up.
That's right.
So
absolutely right.
Yeah, and so when we talked about, too, real quick before we hit break, we were talking about the prove-it seasons for some of these guys, and we talked about Devin Lloyd, and that's another thing. When Trayvon gets that tag, and, you know, we don't see it with Devin, and that has to be something in his head mental this year clicked, and it kind of all came together. The fifth-year option, sorry.
Yeah, for sure.
So when you talk about those guys who just had those earn it years, Devin Lloyd's one of those, and you saw it early on this last season. He was like, okay, well, I got to turn it up if I want to get paid.
ETN too.
Yeah.
He earned it too.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
So there's a lot of guys that have big seasons next season for their career. I mean, look at Brenton Strange. Look at Parker Washington.
Oh.
If Parker builds off of what he did last season, I mean, you want to talk about a guy that make it rain, man, because somebody's going to pay Parker, whether it's here or somewhere else, because receivers that make plays get paid.
Yeah, we talk about the decisions this free agency. Next season might even be a little more difficult.
Absolutely.
Honestly. All right, let's get to the golden moment on the other side. That's coming up next on Helmets and Heels, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Catch Gators basketball on 1010XL.
The Gators take their top 5 ranking to Rupp Arena for a regular season finale against Kentucky, Saturday at 4 on 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnick Buick GMC is proud to be the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville, earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness. All part of Nimnick's Treating You Right guarantee. The most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. For 3 generations, Nimnick has been the place customers keep coming back to. They treat you right, and they give a bunch back to the community. Visit NimnickBuickGMC.com today to learn more, or visit their showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade. Hey friends, Frank Frangie here. A new year is the perfect time to make sure your car is ready for the road ahead. And nothing gives you more confidence than a fresh set of tires from my friends at Big Chief Tire. I've trusted them for years. They take great care of me, and they'll take great care of you. Start 2026 with a smoother, safer ride. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 today and let Big Chief get you rolling.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
The road to March runs through Jacksonville. The 2026 Atlantic Sun Conference men's and women's basketball tournament is coming to VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena. Catch all 24 Division I basketball programs in action March 3rd through 9th. Reserve your seat today at asunsports.org/tickets. Jacksonville is the destination for ASUN basketball. Get your tickets to the 2026 Atlantic Sun Conference men's and women's basketball tournament today. asunsports.org/tickets.
The Golf Club of Southampton is gearing up for brand new greens and a lot more, and now's your chance to save on membership before the fee increase. Take advantage of a $1,000 savings if you join before the work starts in late April and before the initiation fee goes up. It's a great deal, plus $500 additionally in Pro Shop credit. Don't miss out. All the details are at golfsouthampton.com. Become a member now and save big. The course is in great shape, so head on out to the Golf Club of Southampton. Call 287-PLAY and get on the tee.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. If you've been wanting to upgrade your outdoor living space and just haven't pulled the trigger, you should call the experts at Lifetime Enclosures right now. From glass lanais to screened-in enclosures, Lifetime Enclosures and Flooring is the best in the business. Spring will be here before we know it. So give them a call today and upgrade that area that needs it the most. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg from Underwoods. Clayton, you can buy almost anything today on the internet. What about loose diamonds and how they are priced?
Frank, it's interesting you'd ask that because we did some research on the internet to see how diamonds price on the various websites like Blue Nile, and what we found were diamonds of the same shape, weight, color, and clarity had vastly different prices, which probably had something to do with how the diamond was cut. But the only way to see the diamonds was to buy them. So we did a price comparison on diamonds where we could tell the diamonds were nicely cut, and what we found were our prices for beautifully cut Underwood diamonds were the same as theirs. So if you're shopping for diamonds and want real expert help, real quality and value, and don't want to pay just to look at a diamond, come by Underwoods. And remember, when a diamond comes from us, you get all the services, assurances, and guarantees the people in North Florida have learned to expect for over 80 years.
Underwoods in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
All right, the golden moment today here on Helmets and Heels is all you Jag fans that are a little concerned that we're over the cap. How are we going to get under? How are we going to do this? Well, let me tell you a quick story out in Dallas. They were $66 million above the cap, and they were able to clear they cleared $66 million off the cap after being down $55 million with three moves, restructuring Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and left guard Tyler Smith. Of course, Dak, his went from $40 million to $1.7 million in salary. You'll get that in a signing bonus. The negative is it pushes it a year ahead. Yeah. So in 2027, Dak Prescott's salary cap number was like $78 million.
Oh my goodness!
But you're doing it for the now.
They're
to
deferring.
Win. Now they're deferring, but that's how you open up a bunch of money.
Yeah, the Jaguars can have some flexibility. They can clear it out quick.
I think so.
You just got to make a couple moves. There's some restructures on the way.
Yeah,
that they just haven't quite rolled them out to everybody yet.
Yeah, they're working on them.
Yeah,
they're really. And I know for such a transparent, quote unquote, there's some things they keep very close to the vest.
Mm-hmm.
Injuries are one.
Absolutely.
Like they don't want you to know anything.
No.
Nobody.
No.
Even if it's the off season, like anything. Like no. Or it depends on the player. That guy ruptured his, whatever.
Yeah.
This guy, we're still assessing it. We don't know what's happening.
He might be okay. He might not. The foot might still be attached.
There were several moments this year where they would just come out and be like, so and so, it's this vertebrae in his back, and then the other player would be like, oh, we don't know.
Sure.
We're not really totally sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, we see that all over the NFL at this point in time. It's like what the information they choose to share. There's always a reason of why they aren't sharing certain information. I think.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. When it comes to that, though, Jamal, the cap space, because that's going to be one of the bigger you can restructure. We'll figure all these things out. But how heavy do you think they're going to lean into free agency? I mean, you don't have a number one pick either. You don't have a first round pick. So that is something that you're going to have to bring into this too.
There'll probably be some sort of move, but I wouldn't expect it like day one of free agency, probably day two of free agency. The dust is going to settle.
Yeah.
Like we've seen it Players Week, free agency normally starts, and we've all been at TPC Sawgrass, and the Jaguars have signed.
Whoever.
I think we're going to be fine this year. This is going to be a very different class. James Gladstone and company don't want to build through free agency. They want to build through the draft and develop their guys. But Do they have some holes? Are they probably going to get aggressive and maybe make a trade or go get somebody at some point? Sure.
Yep.
But it's not going to be some big contract thrown out day one of free agency. Like last year was even sort of different because it was the big contract was Jordan Lewis, and then there were some other like incremental signings, Johnny Munt, Hunter Long,
Adoga.
Adoga. These were all
McCary
early
was
signings.
a bigger one.
McCary was a decent sized one. So they were active-ish, but even after that class, you kind of got the feel of like, don't get used to this.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I don't think this year will be as active as last year.
No.
You know, of course, with the situation they're in. Jamal, how about maybe not a surprise? I don't want to say cut, but not on the team. Not necessarily a surprise, but a name that most likely won't be here next year. Who would you have?
Like to be released?
Out of the play that won't be here. Well, I'll give you like Little, Wingard, guys like that. Who do you think won't be here next year?
I think Dewey's done.
You think Dewey's
I
done?
think the 10 years come to an end. I mean, they drafted 2 safeties last year.
That's right.
Generally, that's like the writing on the wall for a guy. Once they draft 2 guys at your position, you're an upcoming free agent. It's kind of the memo.
Okay.
So I think Dewey is probably not going to be in Jacksonville. Walker Little is a little tougher because he did just get the contract extension. Can you trade him? Maybe and find a way to move. I'm still on the fence about some of the veteran guys. Like Eric Armstead is one of them. Like his contract would free up so much money.
It would.
So is he a guy that you can figure out a way to replace the production? That's the big question. It's tough because it's such a thin draft and it's such a thin free agent class. Unless you got a guy lined up, you don't make that move.
And he is really good against the run. That's one thing about Eric. He don't get pushed back.
No. Yeah.
You never see him block downfield unless he's running after the ball and the guy's still hanging on to him. Other than that, he doesn't get moved.
No.
Okay, he's massive. He shouldn't get moved. But who cares? I'm just saying, like, he's really good at stopping the run. They wouldn't have done that well if those 2 inside guys weren't doing well.
Yeah, Jamal, let me ask you this because we talked earlier about just the face-to-face when we were saying when you're at the press conferences watching Liam, whoever's talking, the players that are there, and you said, you can see the body language, you see all of those things, and it does give you a different perspective sometimes than some. The one thing that James Gladstone and company have taken from the Rams has not going to the combine, and that's been a conversational point. And so their scouts are there. Their scouts are doing interviews when it comes to certain things that are happening there in Indy. What are your thoughts on all of that? Do you think this is something they stick to? Do you think they adjust next year, a little more access? What do you see that being like?
It's definitely something that's fluid, and I think the NFL is going to start having to look at the combine as more guys opt not to even work out.
Yeah,
you had such a short list of guys that even did every drill that attended in Indianapolis.
Yeah, I think there was like 5 that did every drill.
It was a very short list. So I think the NFL's got to look at it on their own, right? But as far as the Jaguars, this is what they do. Trust, they're getting the information.
Yeah.
They are getting the information they need. Keep in mind, like, all of the stuff is processed and sent back. And think about it this way. We watch the combine on the TV. If I want to watch a 40-yard dash or a drill again, I hit rewind and watch it. They got more camera angles than us.
Yeah.
As opposed to if you're sitting there watching it live, well, you just watched it.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't just run it back.
What about the interviews? It threw me off a bit. They didn't want any last minute, persuasion by interviewing, but our scouts are interviewing and they're going to give us the info back. It just seemed kind of weird, like that whole thing.
So here's the question. You guys have done job interviews before?
Mm-hmm.
Ish.
How authentic are you?
Kind of.
How authentic are you in that moment? It's kind of your representative.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what you want to hear, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So they got 15
and what you think
minutes.
fits that job and what you'll be doing and what they want to hear. Yeah.
You got 15 minutes with a guy who's doing 32 interviews, basically, sometimes up until like 2 a.m. How authentic of a look at this guy am I getting?
But why interview him at all then is what I guess.
And that's the thing.
What's the point of the scouts even talking to him?
I think they're just bringing them in and kind of, because that's part of the process, like attend it and ask some of the medical questions or whatever. Yeah. But overall, they're relying on the information they're getting from the schools, the relationship guys. I mean, keep in mind, like, football's a small world. All these draft guys go to like 3 gyms around the country.
Right.
If you know the trainers at one of these gyms, you all of a sudden know if that guy shows up on time every day, how serious he is about working out. And that's going to give you a whole lot more close of a look at the person than I can get in 15 minutes with you when you're going through a gauntlet of interviews and maybe at 2 a.m. knowing you're probably working out the next day.
Yeah.
Like, where's your head at in that moment?
And maybe if that last, are we going that route or not? You go to the scout and be like, well, what was he like in the interview?
Right.
Maybe that's, then he was a good kid. I really liked him. I believed in him. He seemed really genuine. Maybe that helps at the end.
And they do some interviews, like last offseason, they did some interviews late, like through the process, because you do have those like virtual interviews or talk to guys that they have lingering questions about. If they needed to get some information, they'll say, all right, well, this guy, all right, and dial them up and take advantage of that. That's an option.
Yeah.
But for a lot of them, they choose to rely on some of this other information.
I do think that the NFL, I think, will have to reevaluate some things, because the one thing that the NFL does and likes, they want to be relevant all year long. That's part of what it is. So the Super Bowl ends, you're straight pretty much into the combine, then it's free agency, and then you're into the draft, and then it's schedule release, and then you're in mini camp, and then it's OTAs, and then it's training camp. They don't want a lot of lulls in the NFL. And so I don't see them ever just being like, okay, well, we're not going to do the combine because people don't want to participate in the combine. So they have to reevaluate something that makes people, and whether that's players, make it just more of the interview side of things and a presser thing, rather than saying, hey, come run the 40 and
put
jump
the
your
pro
vertical
day on TV.
Yeah, something, because they need that.
Do that.
Not that they need it, but they want it.
Or open it up to a different pool of guys.
Yeah.
I mean, who do you need more information on? The guys at the top that you're going to get all the information about, or some of these guys that are going on day 3 of the draft where you maybe haven't had many hands on them?
Yeah, I like that.
Well, and with you got to factor in the TV, right? And people are going to watch.
People are watching for the big names.
If people stopped watching on TV the combine, they probably do away with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because what's the point?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's more for the, NFL Network and whoever else is airing it to have people go watch these top prospects. Well, I remember him. I looked up Jacob Rodriguez. I wanted to see, because I remembered him playing at Texas Tech, linebacker. I'm like, he's a good player, and he tested out great. I looked at him a few, movement. It's like, this kid looks good. You know what I mean? So I think people, as long as they watch it, they'll have a combine.
It's just hard when a lot of those big names aren't working out.
Anymore,
no, you're right.
So you're not seeing anything out of those. You're hearing, they'll be at the combine, but they're not participating in it.
Or you wait, and you're like, he's going to be there. I can't wait to watch. And then you find out as you're sitting there watching it, he's not even. Oh, okay. Well, this is
And
great.
then it's always like, well, we found he had a foot injury that came up right before he had to run, or his hamstring was a little tight, and so he didn't run. I'm like, yeah, sure. This was planned.
I love the stories like Megatron didn't have his shoes and got someone else's shoes and ran a 4.35 anyway. It's like, so what? Do I need shoes? Yeah. You remember Don Beebe? You ever hear the story about Don Beebe?
No.
So from what the story I was told, so I forget what college he came out of. They did a pro day. He was not invited. He showed up and ran barefoot and ran a blistering 40. And they're like, hey, who's this guy? And that's how we got noticed.
Oh, that's crazy.
He wasn't even invited. He showed up. He's like, I'm going to run anyway. Yep. He lined up and ran one.
That is funny.
Isn't that wild?
That is
awesome.
funny. Yeah, and that's what we hear, the kind of quirky stuff of the weird interview questions that players get. And that's the
dumb.
type of, all of that stuff is a little weird. All right, we're going to wrap things up on the other side. Thanks again, Jamal, for hanging out with us. If you've been here today, Lauren Brooks is on vacation. So Jamal St. Cyr joining us today and tomorrow with me and Tommy. And so we will wrap things up on the other side, say hello to the Frangie Show, and then we'll continue this on tomorrow too. But that's coming up next here on Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Frank Frangie here. I've been telling you about Stanley Pools for years. But you know my favorite thing about this family-owned company? They take such good care of my pool. All I have to do is relax and enjoy it. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and their weekly maintenance makes owning a pool effortless. You can trust Stanley Pools to build your pool or upgrade it. They've done both for me. Call 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Looking for golf that doesn't feel like golf? Welcome to Pine Royale, Callahan's new golf entertainment destination. Play a 9-hole par 3 course, compete in TrackMan-powered driving bays, and get ready for all-new 18-hole mini golf coming soon. As the sun goes down, the course lights up. Add in great food, a full bar, and space to hang with the whole crew, and suddenly golf feels a whole lot more social. Search Pine Royale Callahan and come play today.
Next time you head into a Gate convenience store, look for Form Energy Drink, designed to provide energy, hydration, and focus, straight from Dana White and AB, celebrating those who embrace grit, discipline, and resilience in their everyday lives. Check out Form Energy at a Gate convenience store.
Mark your calendar for Friday, April 17th at the Yards for the second annual Birdies and Bounces, presented by the Mackenzie Noel Wilson Foundation. This premier golf and pickleball tournament brings together competition, community, and purpose for an unforgettable day on the course and courts. Proceeds benefit the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Florida, helping create great futures for local kids. Register or learn more at bgcnf.org and click events. Join us for a day of fun and impact for youth in our community.
New and pre-owned firearms are in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimber, Smith & Wesson, 6 Hour, Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Only at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Did you know GoodRx can help you save on medication, manage prescriptions, and get trusted health information? If you're one of the millions living with a heart condition, check GoodRx for an easier, more affordable way to manage your health. GoodRx offers common heart medications for under $30. Just search for your prescription, find the best price, then show your pharmacist the GoodRx coupon. And it works whether you have insurance or not. To start saving and better manage your heart health, download the free app or visit GoodRx.com today. GoodRx is not insurance but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
The Florida Forum welcomes world-renowned chef and humanitarian Jose Andres at the Center for Performing Arts, March 31st. His impact spans the globe as founder of World Central Kitchen, Presidential Medal of Freedom recipient, and global leader using food as a force for change. All proceeds for the Florida Forum benefit the Women's Board of Wilson Children's Hospital, supporting a new outdoor play area for behavioral health services. Get your tickets now at thefloridaforum.com.
Bueller, stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal.
Stand back, Jason. I'm gonna
Sneeze? Yeah, I saw that coming.
It's all this spring pollen, Jason. It's outside and it's inside my house, and I just can't stop. I can't stop.
Sneezing? Okay, let me help you with that.
How can you help?
At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we can improve your indoor air quality with air purifiers, UV lights, and filtration systems. Every new system we install includes high-efficiency 4-inch filters that work better and last longer, even if you forget to change them.
Wow, that's amazing. It's amazing.
Life can get pretty dusty sometimes. If you spend all day, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Yeah. What you gonna do? You wanna get down? Tell me. What you gonna do?
This one was me, Taylor.
It's you. This one is a Aaron Williams song. I love it. We love to hear the different music vibes here. This one's very funky. I like it. We have another appeal.
Get down on it.
We have another appeal, Tommy.
We do?
Yeah. The NCAA has filed an appeal in the Mississippi State Supreme Court against Trinidad Chambliss preliminary injunction per court document. So now Trinidad has now appealed 3 times, them saying that you cannot come back and play college football. For those who don't know, he has like a respiratory thing. The exact quote from that was, so the NCAA is saying he's exhausted his eligibility to play Division I football because the 5-year period to play 4 seasons has terminated. Chambliss' case for an additional year of eligibility centered around a respiratory issue he dealt with during his sophomore season at Ferris State. He already used a redshirt season in 2021 as a true freshman and then missed the majority of 2022 while fighting that respiratory issue that doctors later resolved by surgically removing his tonsils. In court last month, Chambliss took the stand and claimed his coach at Ferris State had previously told him he would be medically redshirted prior to the 2022 season. So still waiting to see if Trinidad is playing college football.
I'm sorry, things happen in college. Like, you know,
I just feel like you're wasting time at this point.
All of this stuff in court for college football, it's insane. It's insane. The fact that every time a guy wants eligibility, they're just going to the court system. The NCAA at this point, I mean, what power do they have?
Yeah.
I mean, I know. And they're coming down to the states.
Yeah,
to declare that he can't play.
Mississippi's a wild place because we just read one yesterday. Jamal, did you see the thing with the state of Mississippi is trying to make NIL money earned
non-taxable? Yep, I saw it. It's the arms race of college sports at this point. You want your spot to be as appealing as possible. How do you recruit these big athletes? Let's take the taxes off of it. We want to make sure we got a quarterback so we can compete next year. It's wild.
Yeah. All right. Well, now it is time to say hello to Hayes Carline and the Frangie Show.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Hello, Hayes.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing great.
So we were just chatting. We got another appeal in the NCAA as the NCAA is now appealing Chambliss again.
Wow.
So he's appealed 3 times now, and the NCAA I think has backed back at that point. So are we going to see another Chambliss appeal, or are we just wasting time at this point?
It seems like it's wasting time,
Yeah.
but I get the NCAA wanting to fight it. It does seem like they've got more momentum in these cases than they've had in quite some time. They won the Aguilar thing, they won Bediako, so. We'll see, but it's just a crazy landscape.
Yeah.
And what you guys were saying about the NIL, the Mississippi legislature passing that should be tax free. How can that possibly stand up legally if anybody else from any walk of life says, "Well, I'm suing. I don't want to pay taxes anymore." Right.
Yeah.
So
Especially when you're throwing in like teachers and police and firefighters, and we're like, but your college athletes.
You guys pay taxes, but our nose tackle is not going to be paying a state income
really
tax.
Need him.
We need a championship that bad. It's your sacrifice for the team.
It's a sad state of affairs. We all love sports, but that's probably taking it maybe a little bit too far. But yeah,
it's like
just
a Black Mirror episode.
It really is. It's wild, but yeah. So we'll talk about that coming up on the Frangie Show. We'll get into the Jaguars and certainly talk some Gator basketball. Lots of golf today. Lee Smith, the executive director of the Players Championship, is going to join us for a couple of segments. As we get closer, we will be out there. A week from today, we'll be out there, and we'll have some scores coming in. There'll be there'll be somebody that's 3 over, and we're like, wow, look, they might miss the cut, and so it's exactly. He's in the water again. So it'll be a lot of fun coming up on the Frangie Show.
We love it. All right, Hayes, thank you. Have a good show. All right, yeah. So I feel like the college football, we talked a lot about it yesterday with Zach Goodall, and it just doesn't feel like there's really an answer for anything right now, and that's the problem. Like the NCAA is trying to contain things, but they don't have enough rules to contain things, so the players are just running free and doing what they want. So we'll see what happens with that moving forward. But Jamal St. Cyr joining us tomorrow also, and Cleo Lemon will join us tomorrow. So we'll have a full house. But for Tom McManus, for Jamal St. Cyr, for Aaron Williams, I'm Taylor Dahl. We will catch you guys tomorrow on Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Yeah. You keep lying.